I'm always afraid of people that we've name dropped on here. I've heard your podcast. I'm like, fuck. I might talk shit on you. Welcome back to the Maximum Chillage Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12. My name is Chewy Sanchez. With me, as always,
I'm Tiki Mike.
Tiki Mike, you came sober today.
Yes, I did.
I highly appreciate it. I don't know if I could blame.
Okay.
I don't know if I could blame it on you being high last time.
No, man, we just had nothing to go on.
We had nothing to go on.
And I'm saying, like, not even just like
it was a slow
coming
news
up with,
week, dude.
Well, no, I'm
you
not
can't blame.
saying that.
I'm gonna say
I'm
it's
not
a slow
saying
news.
that.
I'm gonna chalk it up to a.
You and I didn't have an energy going.
We weren't going.
I don't think.
No,
you know?
we weren't.
We weren't, man. Those neurons were not firing.
And sometimes, and what a listener told us was, it doesn't always have to be our best. People still enjoy it. This week, though, I'm going to challenge you.
Ooh.
A lot of people did say that they enjoyed that your aspect of putting your phone number on the podcast.
Ooh, I never saw anything on the podcast.
I just got a text. David
what,
Thompson.
like two
shout
people?
out to David Thompson.
I don't know.
I used to work with him.
David
No,
Thompson?
you don't know him.
Oh, okay.
And John Fernandez also as well.
Oh, for sure.
They want your phone number to be on this podcast. I won't do that, but rather, I went to Reddit advice. I picked the juiciest story that I could find that somebody needs advice. Somebody needs your help.
Oh, okay.
And I used to use Michael a lot when I was younger. Not anymore. It's like, you know, you think your parents are the best people in the world when you're growing up, and then you start growing up and you're like, yeah, they're just average people. That's what Mike was to me when I was growing up. Mike was kind of like a father figure. He knew all about everything. He kind of knew a lot about life back then.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about 14-year-old life.
I don't know where I fell off on the learning curve somewhere. It just became...
You were a philosopher back then, Michael.
You know,
I want you to know that. You
know,
had it in you.
You read a little bit of Russian literature. You try to get into German philosophy and stuff, and you know, you're just a shitty 14-year-old, you know, and just trying to be pretentious and stay ahead of the curve on the people in that age. And then some point you realize none of that shit matters, and you can't get a fucking job doing any of that. And then, you know, you just get disinterested in it, and you stop reading, and then you stop doing anything else because you just don't know what you want to do in life, and then you just become me over time, and you just get high all the time.
So I stopped taking Michael's advice.
Yeah. It's a good life decision.
I stopped taking his advice around when I started doing better than him in life.
Uh-huh.
I mean, which isn't saying much because it's not much better.
I mean, you can look at, you know, my life.
We're both here on a Thursday night doing a podcast, so that tells you how much better.
What are you supposed to do on a Thursday night, Chewy?
Thirsty Thursday.
That sounds.
It's a new Friday, apparently.
I'm not 28 years old anymore, Chewy. I can't be doing Thirsty Thursdays anymore. I'm 29. I am above that. I am beyond that.
So we're going to ask Michael some advice later on in the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I also want to talk about something. I did tell you that I've been listening to a lot of satellite radio lately, right?
Yeah.
So I was listening to satellite radio. Faction Punk is like the station that I really, really like. Mm-hmm. I also like the porn channel, and I also like some country. But I'm listening to the Faction Punk, right?
Mix there.
It is a great mix. I feel like I have the best mix.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this Faction Punk radio, and I'm hearing all these punk bands that I used to listen to when I was a kid playing on there, as well as some new ones that I want to get to as well.
Oh, okay.
A new album just dropped by Fidlar. I want to get to that, which will lead into this.
We're going to do album reviews?
I am going to do an album review, yeah.
Okay.
Just so people can get to know what we listen to and what we think about it. But I'm listening to all this punk rock, right? And I'm like, man, what a fucking sellout I am. I'm over here. I have a dress shirt with a fucking quarter zip sweater with some dress pants, driving to work, listening to this station. So I'm thinking about it harder, though. And I'm like, those fools have more money than me.
What, the bands?
The bands. So I went to go look up net worth.
Ooh.
And we're going to release the net worth of a lot of our favorite punk rock bands, which you're going to be surprised. That shit is large. They got a lot of money.
It's lucrative.
They've got a lot of money.
So the whole punk thing of DIY scene crash. It's because they crash on everybody's.
Well, it's what I want to. It's what I want to ask you. Like, what do you think they do with this money? We'll hypothesize what we think that is done with all of these millions, because it's millions that these motherfuckers have.
I can see some, and I'm only talking about one, maybe 3 groups that I can think of that would be in the millions range.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. We'll get to it. And I also want to open the floor to Tiki Mighty. You're not. I guess I could call you Mighty.
Yeah, I've gone by Mikey at times.
He said he has some stuff he wants to talk about, and I want to hear about it. I want to hear a little preview.
Sure.
Give me a little preview here.
Well, actually, okay. Well, so I wanted to introduce a new segment that may or may not reoccur occasionally, and it's the Open Tab segment. Basically, sometimes I'm just like really high in my room, and I'm just like up, and I just start Googling and watching YouTube videos and random shit, and it just starts to trickle down into some weird areas. This one's actually not that bad, but I figure, I'm just going to show you. These are all the open tabs I have open, and I'm just going to read them off to you later, and you tell me.
Didn't saw a porn tab in there.
And nah, there was no porn tab. I made sure of that. But yeah, you tell me whether you want to go through that subject or not. It'll be kind of like a little Russian roulette of, hey, this is a tab. Let me know if you want to know more about this subject, just so you can find out, like, what is it that I waste all my time with? I don't have kids. I don't have like a time-consuming job.
Well, let's talk about some kids later too.
Oh.
We'll talk about kids.
Oh, okay.
Got a lot of coworkers with kids, and I want to see how you feel about this situation of. I'll call kids a situation. You're in.
It is sometimes.
Another thing I really want to talk about, because you can't go into this week, especially this podcast being released on a Friday, without talking about Super Bowl. You and I, we're not the biggest soccer. Football. I talk about football and soccer and too.
Yeah.
I worked for a soccer team. We're not the biggest American football fans.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about some shit that you don't really have to know football about to know about the Super Bowl. It's just 52 Super Bowl party facts that you should know for your Super Bowl party. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
And then I have a podcast review. I once shit on a podcast on this podcast that I had to redact the statement because I made myself listen to a whole podcast, and now I'm addicted. But we'll get into that.
Okay.
So starting up first, let's just get into the fucking Super Bowl one.
Okay.
Your work is a big Super Bowl party supply store. I realized when I went this last week, it was all samples.
Oh yeah.
Geared towards Super
towards
Bowl
the party. Yeah.
Did you know? Number one fact about this shit. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Super Bowl is America's second largest food consumption day, only after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What's your favorite Super Bowl? I know you go to Super Bowl. Like your family probably does shit, right?
Yeah. Super Bowl.
What's your favorite snack on that shit day?
Honestly, it's pretty basic.
Nachos?
Nah, nachos would be even too much spice and flavor.
Ooh.
This is basic. It's just pizza.
That's a very basic.
Chips, dip.
What's different from any other day in your life? You got to spice it up on Super Bowl, dude.
I don't get all fancy and mix some onion dip. I mean, you get onion dip. I'm like basically a chef now, And I only do that on special occasions. Get out the chips. Actually, I don't really keep chips at my house too often. It's just for occasion.
I want some of that spinach artichoke dip you motherfuckers have there.
Yeah, that's good. You ever heated it up?
No, I don't.
It's actually really good.
I have actually had it heated up before, and it's okay. But I kind of like it cold. The other thing that I really want, jalapeno poppers.
Yeah.
They have a big ass sack at Costco right now.
Yeah, like $9.
It's like $4, $4.95.
It's like $9.
No, dude, it's not. It was $3 off the other day.
So it's like
$6, like $5.95.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's all right. I mean, you're gonna pay that amount for 5 of them at any fucking restaurant.
It's true.
Yeah.
You have any favorite Super Bowl memories that you can think of?
Super Bowl memories?
Yeah. I know you watch more football than I do.
I don't know, man. I don't really have any Super Bowl memories per se. I mean, most memorable things for me would be like groundbreaking commercials back in the day.
Is there any favorite commercials you have? I tried to look up controversial commercials, and they were way too controversial for this podcast. I didn't want to bring them up.
Or like the Budweiser immigrant one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a lot of other ones. It just wasn't. There's nothing
that
you can bring
that
up.
One's also too recent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I remember just like what the fuck moments. Like, you know, like it's like
Janet
commercials
Jackson?
were so bland back in the day.
Yeah.
And now every commercial seems like they could be Super Bowl commercials back then. You know, that was like something to look forward to, even if your team or you weren't interested in either of the fucking teams. You had no fucking stock in it. You were still going to watch the Super Bowl. But watching the commercials was always entertaining because they saved the best writing for commercials and making an impression on the Super Bowl days. I mean, because like I said, commercials were fucking whack back in the day. And like, I don't know, I forget which car brand it was. I want to say it was VW, but the one where they're like trying to get something out of the tree and then a fucking car pops out. You know, I mean, it's just something that when I was a kid, it was like, oh shit, like I did not expect that to happen. Now I could see that on any.
You know how you say that it's like 30-second ad?
Yeah.
They say there's best writing.
Back then.
Do you know how much 30-second ad for the Super Bowl cost?
Oh, millions, man. It's like
$5 million.
Yeah.
$5 million to make an impression for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of different kind of people in that when it comes to Super Bowl. It's the kind of people who are diehard football fans.
Yeah.
There's the people who are just going to watch it. And then there's the group that I feel like are like the leeches, and I hate them.
The leeches.
They're the ones. They're the ones that say, "I'm just watching for the commercials." None of the commercials are that good. They're
Did
not.
You watch them when you were a kid?
Rarely.
Oh well, that's the thing, man. I mean, come on.
I wasn't too into a commercial,
lame, man. Commercials were lame back then. I
watched
that
them
argument
last year.
Now. I can see that.
I watched them last
now
year and they weren't good.
That's what I'm saying, because we have bangers all throughout the year now.
It's true.
There's commercials that come out all throughout the year that are fucking like, that's actually really funny. Like, that was a good job and coming up with a creative commercial. Now they don't. I'm
kind of just
special.
let down whenever I watch them.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say I watched it for the commercials.
The Super Bowl
or
halftime show
now for the commercials.
Always a letdown.
I don't think I've ever been that impressed with a Super Bowl halftime show.
They're not that good. Who's the halftime show
Lady
this
Gaga's
year?
Was cool. I don't know.
Whatever.
It was whatever.
It's whatever. They're all whatever. You know what bums me out the most in life?
I mean, her meme was pretty dope.
Everything.
Everything bums you out from life?
Everything bums me out in life. But you know what bums me out in life the most?
What's that?
So, when I was a kid.
I think it's Maroon 5 this year, by the way.
I kind of like them. Okay. That shit slaps.
I don't know.
When they said...
Not a fan.
No?
No, not a fan of Maroon 5.
You're a fucking weirdo.
No, it's just...
I feel like they're the ultimate, like, going with the motions band.
Dude, it's just like...
They just went through the motion.
Train, you know?
No.
They're just...
Don't you fucking dare compare them to Train.
Actually, I don't think there's any other band I could compare them to the most.
I saw the Maroon 5...
Train.
I saw the Maroon 5 Cribs episode when I was a kid. And those fools were millionaires. Yeah. But they all lived together, and god damn it, they looked like they were just trying to survive. They didn't have enough money to all have their own separate houses. They just had one large house.
I think Incubus did the same thing. I think a lot of groups do that. I think Wu-Tang still to this day has their West Coast home that, there's many keys to, and like they have like one or two of them own it together, and it's just their pad that they have that any of the homies can go and crash and spend the weekend at.
Adam Levine's worth $90 million.
God damn it.
That's a lot of fucking money, dude.
God damn it.
From going from She Will Be Loved to $90 million.
You know what?
That shit slaps, dude.
That song's a banger.
It's a good
you want to know why?
Song.
Only because there was this really annoying fucking kid that was always in the PE locker rooms as he was changing out singing that fucking song. Just singing, cried in the pouring rain. And he sang it in this falsetto voice. It was just really...
At first, I was trying to see if you were trying to take a dig at me.
No, I don't know what you're referring to.
I don't know if I ever did that.
There was this fucking kid in PE in my freshman year that would fucking sing that song like all the time, and I just picture that. But yeah, $90 million.
$90 million. No, but what bums me out is I left to go to the bathroom when Janet Jackson's titty popped out.
I fell asleep.
I never saw it. I woke up.
I mean, you could Google that, but
it was underwhelming when I finally saw it.
Yeah, no, I know, because I think I fell asleep during the halftime show. Probably a early diabetic, crash as a young kid. Just from all the food I was ingesting, and I woke up and then I watched the rest of the fucking game, and then all of a sudden it was news reports talking about what had just happened, like an hour before, that I was unaware of even happened. And yeah, I do feel like I missed out on a very big event in American television history.
I missed it
because I'm not saying it's like,
I think
oh man,
my
really
mom
wanted
screamed
to see
when it happened.
But it was more of just like, oh my god, that is huge for our society. You know
how many times I was watching the Girls Gone Wild infomercials when I was a kid, hoping they'd skip a censor.
What about that girl in the back?
And I missed the one time they didn't skip a censor, Michael.
Oh man,
it fucked me up as a kid.
Well, we knew someone who legitimately would watch, habitually watch that every fucking Friday night.
This man makes a good amount of money a year.
Yeah, now he does.
Now he does. And this man's logic was, they can't get every titty. They're bound to miss one.
I mean, I don't know how he didn't realize that, it
was on a loop.
It's the same one.
It was just a live thing.
Advertisement.
It was a live thing where it was a man
before,
fucking sweating bullets. If I fucking miss one.
Let me put a black bar here, black bar there.
Some beach balls here.
Here's where the $9.95 goes.
So I like this about the Super Bowl halftime show. The 2019 halftime show, there is a bet that suggests that Maroon 5 will play in tribute to Steven Hillenburg the SpongeBob halftime song.
Oh no, I know that there was an online petition to get that incorporated into it. Okay.
I 100% signed that.
I just watched that last week. Actually, I've been on Amazon Prime watching SpongeBob episodes.
I love all of the memes that they do where they'll have that scene. Yeah. But then it's just a completely different song.
Yeah.
It's just, those are all amazing.
Yeah.
We should post one of those online onto our, you actually posted some Instagram shit this week on Instagram.
A little bit.
How did that go for you?
I don't know.
I noticed nobody replied to you.
Yeah, I know. Only
Nasty
one that
Steven
insulted us.
Yeah. Nasty Steven did say that he really listens to our podcast a lot.
No, he does. He sends me a snap post every time he's got it on his laptop.
Shout out to Aaron Galvan. Saw him outside of Sprint in Manchester Mall the other day.
Bro, you're not supposed to say where he works.
Why not?
Because I listen to his podcast.
Oh, shit.
And his podcast expressly says...
Oh, dude. I hope he doesn't get fired from Sprint.
Just erase that from your memory. That part never happened.
Not in Manchester Mall. Not there.
Oh,
not the mall off of fucking Shields.
I wasn't sure which mall. Okay.
It's not right by the... No, sorry, Aaron. God damn it. I hope you're okay.
No, honestly, though, he's kind of let it... They've actually talked about it and pretty much summed it up. They just didn't sum up the location, which you just did.
Oh. No, it's not off of Shields, bro.
I'm sorry.
I also have some... I forgot that I wanted to bring this up. This is a little surprise. Little tidbit of surprise. Okay. So, this is just a thing in my life. Are you going to sneeze?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to hear this life-impacting thing.
Fuck.
Was this a kid's part?
No.
Oh, that would have been dope, dude.
No.
If you told me, because earlier you had to build up about we'll get into it.
Oh, no, just my boss
kids
can't ever have a beer with me because he has too many kids. I just sucks.
Yeah.
Life sucks for those people.
Yeah.
But they say it's fulfilling. That's what I was going to talk about. No, but okay, this does involve kids, though.
Okay.
It involves other people's kids.
Yeah.
So, I'm driving on Friday. I'm going to go hang out with Katie, like I often do on the weekends, like I always do, rather.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go to dinner. We don't go out to dinner all the time we don't like going out, to be honest with you. She's like, I found my perfect match of a person who doesn't like doing things as much as I don't like doing things. But we're like, let's just go to dinner. So I made reservations at this place, and it's a nice place.
Ooh, reservations.
Yeah, right? It's a nice place. So I'm driving, and she's on the phone with me, and I just hear, oh, fuck. It sounds like somebody tried to break into her house. Like, it just sounded like that kind of reaction. So I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? She doesn't say anything. Oh, fuck. She doesn't say anything. And then she's like, I gotta go, Chewy. I just saw a video of my dad punching a guy on Facebook.
What?
Click. So we're in a pause here so Michael can see the video.
Oh, for sure.
All right, you've seen the video now.
I just watched it.
I don't know if I'm ever going to post this for you guys to find. If you want to see it, go look on like Merced Gateway News or something. You can find it yourself. What is your initial reaction?
I'm just flabbergasted by, I mean, again, I don't know if it's because it feels like a new phenomenon. I feel like I'm constantly seeing videos. Did you see the video
of the guy holding on the freeway?
On the freeway, yeah.
The guy's going like 70 miles an hour. I don't know how that guy's holding on.
Yeah, and
that's incredible grip strength.
No, I've seen
that I don't have.
I've seen very similar videos of people on hoods and going at those speeds. Yeah, I mean that video was not the first video I saw of.
It's
of
like
a dude
Bird Box, but you look and you start holding on to hoods.
I mean, everybody's going for hoods, and they're always trying to pull off the fucking windshield wiper as they're on the hood, or there was that other video recently of the guy jumping on the girl's hood and then just smashing her windshield twice and then jumping off. He jumped off before she had time to react and press on the gas. Otherwise, that'd be another video of a guy hanging on a hood. Like, that's just like a norm. I don't know if it's just because we all have technology that's easily accessible and everybody has a phone and there's cameras everywhere, and now we're just seeing how much road rage and other shit goes on.
Maybe when those horse-drawn carriages, people would jump on the horses.
Oh, dude, I'm sure that they'd kick a horse. Hopefully that thing would take off and go over the cliff and, yeah, man, you just start shooting, and then the horse would probably freak the fuck out. It'd be like, hey, fuck you, shoot in the air, and just let that carriage take off away from you, But then again, road rage probably wasn't an issue because you'd probably be so many people. You'd probably be happy to see another living soul on this trek, or just deadly
so you
afraid
attribute it to road rage.
It's road rage, meth, mental illness. I don't know. Why don't you set up what happens in the video?
Okay, let me set this up. So, so the video starts with a guy taking out his phone, and he starts filming an altercation between Katie's dad and what seems to be psychopath in the middle of the road. Allegedly, I don't know any of the story. I wasn't there. Allegedly, this guy was in the middle of the road causing drama, punching the hood of the car and kicking it. Katie's dad gets tired of this bullshit, starts honking at him. He doesn't move. So the guy actually jumps on the hood of his car, and Katie's dad has none of it. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to go. He goes, realizes the guy's not going to let go. He probably goes maybe like, what do you think, 25 miles an hour? 15?
If that, and he only goes maybe about 60 feet.
Yeah, he goes about 60 feet, pulls over to the side of the road. This guy's like 67 years old. He's an old guy. This guy's in and out of the hospital. Like, that's what I know of this guy. He's in and out of the hospital. He's got some fucking breathing issues. I don't know.
Don't we all? I mean,
I mean,
just don't say anything for a second. Have 5 seconds of silence. I'm sure you listeners could hear us breathing into the mics right now.
So, this guy is just old, right? He hates that he's in this video and all the comments. It went viral, by the way. 100,000 views on this video, if not more. 150,000 views.
For sure.
Ended up on the news that night.
Uh-huh.
He hates that he's referred to as the old man.
In the comments.
That's like his number one thing about this whole thing.
Old man.
Yeah.
Old man wasn't going to take none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were all on his side, by the way. As am I. He's a hero to me. He gets out, fucking cocks the guy. That's right in the fucking dome. 67 years old. The other guy was stunned. He didn't know what the fuck to do.
I think he thought his towering height over him was going to do something or intimidate him. I mean, he's a methed out dude. People probably just back the fuck away or just look the other way when he starts yapping.
Yeah.
And, he's probably just stunned that guy was going to, fucking, hit him.
The thing that they were saying was like, the old generation doesn't take nothing. The softening of the mind.
I mean, honestly, the other guy wasn't that young.
No,
either.
he wasn't much younger.
He's probably in his 40s.
Yeah, he wasn't much. Yeah, he wasn't much younger.
I mean, he's younger than him, but he's not like a young dude.
But I just wanted to bring that up. And
I mean, it's fucking crazy, man.
It's pretty crazy.
I was watching. I mean, that is a commercial right now about road rage and about how there's actually more traffic-related deaths due to road rage than there is due to drunk driving.
Honestly, I'm scared as shit whenever like somebody cuts me off or something, or I cut somebody off on accident, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm dead. That's it.
Have you ever gone into a road rage situation?
Yeah, let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
So you were actually in the car.
Was I in the car?
Yeah. I was about 18 years old. No, I was like 16 years old. I was at 16 years old. I was in a Crown Victoria, baby blue one, to be exact.
Yeah.
I'm in a baby blue Crown Victoria.
Now I know this vehicle.
It is a Friday night, around 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And our friend, God rest his soul, Kevin Lee, decides to pull out in front of this guy.
We say, oh, you're supposed to make a right here, and he's in the left lane, and he just fucking crosses over that right lane.
Crosses over and just completely cuts this guy off. And we're like, dude, you cut that guy off. He's like, oops. They didn't care. So the guy starts following us. Kevin's not too familiar with our town. So he's like, well, what do I do? I'm like, oh, dude, that guy's fucking following us. So do we decide to throw some eggs at him?
No, that was actually a
different story. Okay.
No, we just started freaking the fuck out because they were riding on our ass, and we're like, dude, go, and he started speeding up, and honestly, we reached like 50 miles an hour in town, which is actually
regular roads.
Yeah, which and we went we lost him around the middle school area where those one-way streets are. We were going the wrong way.
I can tell you how we lost him.
On a one-way.
I can tell you how we lost him.
Well, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, okay, so they were on the other street, and every stop sign, they kept on going.
I kept telling Kevin, bro, just drive us to the fucking police station. We'll just park in the police station.
But then
he doesn't know where that is.
But, yeah. But then we knew that there was a football game, and that's why we were going near the middle school, because there's a lot of traffic and people there.
Yeah.
And we went to the middle school parking lot, and we're like, oh shit, there's a fucking cop over there. Just keep driving.
Yeah.
And then we realized there's no cop in the car. and the car, we're like cornered in this parking lot, and the car's behind us, and we're like, shit, just go. Get out of the parking lot.
So this guy's in a Crown Victoria. It's a tank of a car. If you've never been in a Crown Victoria, that thing's a boat. They can take a whipping. I think that's why they use them as cop cars. So Kevin ends up going over the curb.
Yeah.
There's no lip there to get off. The other person is actually in a lower vehicle. They're like, well, either I keep following these guys and fuck the shit up out of my car, or they're gone. And that's how we got away from that. And that was a road rage and a half situation.
Yeah. I got into a road rage situation not too long ago.
Really?
Within the past year or so.
Also, hold on. I want you to tell that story.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Were you also in the car when a guy by the name of Bubba threw a milkshake at an opposing car?
No, I wasn't in that car.
That was a road rage situation. Much like that one, we got in the situation where they were tailing us. The driver of the car, as he's driving, puts half of his body out of the car, throws the milkshake at his windshield, and that's how we get away. We were going to Hooters. Also around 16 or 17. Continue.
16, 17 it's an interesting age that people survive after, those are,
He's got his whole fucking half of his body out the car, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
who's steering the car?
No, cruise control, my man. Cruise control. No, but, basically, long story short.
No, tell the full story.
No, there's not a lot to it. I mean, this guy, you'd have to know the street. It was the 180 to 99. You know how, you have to get in that right lane.
Yep.
I was trying to get into the right lane, and this motherfucker starts speeding up not letting me get in. And so then I let my foot off the gas and tried to let off because there's still plenty of time to get in. And then this motherfucker all of a sudden starts letting off or braking so that I still can't get in. And then I'm like, I look over and I see him just shaking his head no. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you the king of the fucking road? Like, what, you got mad because I was driving at a faster speed? I wasn't like speeding by any means. I was just honestly, and it wasn't like near the part where the line is blocked and you're not supposed to go over. Like, I was just like driving normal. And this fool kept shaking his head no. And I was like, what the fuck? And so like, I had to like fucking step on the brakes real hard and then get in the lane, and then that motherfucker hella fucking almost comes to a stop, and I almost crash right into the back of him. I'm thinking, you motherfucker, like my fucking shit flies to the floorboard, and I'm like, this motherfucker,
it's all bad,
this motherfucker, and it's,
you don't get mad often, but when you do, you get livid.
And so we started going down that turn. And cars have to go a little bit slower, and they kind of back up on each other right when it gets to the 99 interchange. And so, I'm like, fuck this guy, because everybody's waiting to get to the broken line so that you can get into the next lane. It's like, fuck this guy, there's no traffic behind me, and I get into the next lane, and I just flip him off as I'm going past him. And then it becomes a speed chase of, it's really stupid. Like, honestly, that's the... I am not the beta male, or is it alpha male? I'm the beta male. I'm like the beta.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what beta. It's just I don't go for an aggressive fucking toxic masculinity bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not usually my style, is what I'm saying. But then this motherfucker is trying to pass me, and then he's getting off on Clinton. And
he's rough if he's getting off on Clinton.
and I was
nothing
just,
good happens on Clinton.
Like, I look at him and he's just flipping me off the whole time. And then I know what you're referring to. But then I decide I'm gonna change it up. I'm not gonna flip him off. I'm just gonna do this jerking off motion, and I've just got my fucking mouth open.
Michael got a full palm, like he's got a big old Wayne in his hand,
and I'm just doing this jerking off motion to him, and just shaking my head to the side like I'm in the best orgasm of my life. I'm just going, oh. I mean, I think I'm doing the sound effects in the car while he's there. He can't fucking hear me. The sound effect is for my benefit solely, and I'm just going, oh. I mean, just. Disclaimer, that's not my climax sound. I just want to say, and of course, that full fist, it's not that, but whatevs, it's just for show for that guy. It's just fuck that guy, fucking black Jetta. I've been keeping my eyes out for that black Jetta.
Sure does. License.
You know what I want to do?
What?
I want to carry a jar of Vaseline. And then, I'm going to keep this prank away, just in case any of these listeners get a jar of Vaseline on their windshield.
Oh, yeah, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, can't get that shit off.
No, that's not coming.
Well, you know what? I'm covered because I just gave that idea to anybody else that listens to it. So, yeah, man. You just, wait. Play the waiting game. Don't get into a confrontation where you're going to get shot, over some bullshit. Just play the creepier waiting game. Find out their habits.
Oh, yeah.
Find out where they park.
I hear that.
Smudge that fucking Vaseline all over their windshield.
Yeah, I often like to think that
they can't fucking rub it off.
I'm a normal person.
Smears. Oh, man.
But I just take these mental notes. Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah. I saw that you turned right there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do over there but houses.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, everybody has those weird things. It's just, you gotta just be there. Bury them deep down, man. That one time, I was riding passenger in a car, and the car was tailgating?
Yeah,
tailgating us ugly with their brights on. Halfway through this, I realized I know who this car is, and they're just fucking with us.
Yeah,
I didn't really like the person though, so I had a aluminum can full of soda that was full.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I'm going to throw this
that could do damage
at their windshield and blame it on the fact that I didn't know who they were. But I really just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I decided against it.
Oh.
But I really wanted to do it. It's one of my biggest regrets in life was not throwing that can of soda through their windshield.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them. That's how I feel about it. Speaking of road rage, one of the things I do to combat road rage.
Do you know where they park?
That person?
To this day?
Yeah.
Jar of Vaseline. You just let me know. I'll take care of it.
I have let Michael know things in the past. Michael has done some things for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is true.
He's done some shit.
Yeah, I know.
Some very criminal actions.
You got to have a cleaner sometimes, Whether that means, taking care of the business.
Do you remember when we had a plethora, I'm talking a fucking plethora of car keys that didn't belong to us?
I mean, we had
a
few. I mean, I don't want to say.
No, we don't have to. Please don't. Yeah.
Let's just say there was a key to a big rig.
We had the key to a big rig.
We had a key to a big rig.
We had a key to a Crown Victoria.
Yeah.
Not the same one that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, we had a key to the school gym. I'll say that one.
Oh, shit, that's right.
We did have a key to the school gym. For the longest time, we had this fucking key, and we never did anything good with it.
No. Well, I had this whole fucking plan laid out, man, that had to do with the gym key. And
Vermin?
Did we have a gate key, too?
Probably.
I want to say we had a gate key. Yeah, because we had the idea that we could have access to the pool at any time. Yeah, so we had gate key. Dude, I mean... We just picked up keys. Whenever we saw them, we would just take them. You just take them.
Take mental notes to what they belong to.
Or you just had a friend that was a TA, and they just had loose morals or ambivalence towards wrongdoing that could possibly come from handing these over. And yeah, man, they had a fucking huge key ring, and that's how we acquired some of these keys. But yeah, man.
Speaking of road rage.
Yeah.
The thing that I do to combat road rage, I listen to podcasts while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Only when I'm driving long distance. I can't listen to a podcast if I'm going to jump in the car to go get a Red Bull or something, like a quick little trip. I can't do it.
Can't.
A podcast that I recently started listening to that I really, really enjoyed. The Last Podcast on the Left.
No, I forget. Is that the one that I didn't like?
You don't like it.
That's the one that
and I didn't like it either.
Casey Anthony? The Casey Anthony.
I don't know. They do a lot of
5 episodes.
Yeah, so they have series.
Ones that do a series, and it's 5 episodes.
I'm not into comedy. I'm not into comedy things about serious matters. I think that's kind of corny.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird mix of talking about the child disappearance and then dick joke.
Yeah, they're they turned me off when they were just dick and fart jokes. They are very bright guys. They're not dumb, but they're not the best
content providers.
Their jokes are just kind of just like Bob and Tom-esque, which I love Bob and Tom.
Oh, for sure.
So I listened to this episode. I'm only on part 1 about Josef Mengele, which was the Nazi doctor who kind of just pioneered the entire
surgery.
All the
weird shit
that happened in Nazi Germany.
Muscle detachment and reattachment, seeing if that could be possible. The shit with the twins.
Yeah, they were really into twins.
Yeah. Just because of the genetic,
Well, they wanted to engineer twins. They wanted everybody to have twins because that engineers more Aryan youth.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a great podcast. And if you guys want to, I know we give you some suggestions here and there. This series itself, I can't attest to the rest of the whole podcast, but so far the Josef Mengele series has been really, really good. And it's history, but it's also a little bit of comedy. It's hard to make light of Nazism and all that shit, but they do a really good job at skating that line of what's tasteful and what's not to make fun of and be light about when it comes to fucking the brutality that was Nazi Germany. So that was just I just wanted to give a little suggestion. Along with that, the other thing I do is I listen to music. I listen to the new God damn it, I can't think of the name of the band now.
The new Fidlar album.
New Fidlar album. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, we're pretty big Michael's a pretty big Fidlar fan. I'm a fan of them as well.
Yeah, I like them. I like their style. I like watching some of their videos that have nothing to do with the songs even.
So to me, they were like the face of like what punk rock is these days.
Yeah.
Which didn't fit with their crowd that they had. Their crowd was a lot of the
it was
flower crown
it's
kids.
Pretty mixed. Their crowd. I see scummy people
sometimes
into them, and just having a fucking Parliament cigarette.
They just released a new album.
Fucking high water pants. And,
completely different.
Yeah.
I think this is what would be considered their sophomore album, I guess.
I mean, it's their third album.
It is their third album? Okay, yeah. So they're...
Like, because the last album that you heard, that first one, the one that you heard was, like, probably their fifth release.
Uh-huh.
Like, they've had a couple EPs that have some random tracks. They have an interesting cover of Beastie Boys' Sabotage.
This album starts off with a Beastie Boys-esque song.
Well, yeah. I think that they just, their first album was all kind of just basic surf punk type stuff. And I think they've just been adding more to their style and just becoming a little bit more of an alternative band. And, the guy is super into recording. He's the one that recorded the Frights album and engineered it and all that shit. I think he's just trying to see what he can do with different sounds.
Completely
and different.
Now, now it's like they will be playing Coachella. I don't know if they're on that thing.
They played it before, I think.
They 100% will be playing it this year, and they will have a heavy following of very basic people liking them now because it is that kind of like boring.
Well, is that album that boring? I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it yet.
Alcohol's on that album, and that's the hardest song that they have.
Okay.
It's just not very aggressive anymore.
Yeah.
Very little distortion in the whole album. Like it's just very.
Well, they tend to like clean guitars. I think even on the on that second album.
Yeah.
The first album even because surf punk a lot of the time it's just, it's Fenders with
have
little
to listen
light distortion.
Let's take a break so you can hear one song.
Okay.
All right, so you heard a couple tracks.
Yeah, I heard a sample of a couple tracks.
I can't play you the whole fucking album.
I know.
We can
stay here.
We're going to have an album release party, Michael.
So, But, I get it. I see the direction that they're taking it. And, it's just like a cycle of music in a way. It's just like, there was hardcore, and then a lot of those bands or fans of those bands ended up making bands like Dinosaur Jr. and Pavement and doing more alternative stuff that was a little bit softer, but, still carries a little of that angsty feeling from punk rock, but just a lot more melodic and slowed down than and not as cutting as punk rock. But it just seems like that they're going through their own cycle of young kids making music to now they're like our age. Some of them, I think some of the band members in that group are older than us. I mean, at 32, can you still be making songs about drinking cheap beer? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, no offense.
Well, and it doesn't age well. I don't know if you've seen Fat Mike lately, but it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
Our state of arrested development, man.
Yeah, that's really what it is. What I want to see is, do you think now that they've stumbled upon some money, that now they're hanging out with different people and they're completely changing who they are?
They have access to better quality Coke now.
Yeah.
They mixing with circles and groups that they probably wouldn't have normally been on tour with. I'm sure that, of course it's going to change you a little bit. I mean, your environment's changed. It doesn't necessarily mean that it changes the core members of the band. I mean, I don't really know the band members or anything, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say. But, I mean, yeah, anybody would change a little bit based on their surroundings.
So here's what I want to segue now.
What, should they stay DIY forever and just, like, live on the fucking
here's some punk rockers who stayed DIY forever, but with some millions. Okay. So I have a list of top 10 punk rockers who have stumbled upon to some money.
I mean, like, you better not be listing bands like
Number 10.
MXPX or something.
Mike Ness of Social Distortion.
I'm sure that dude's in the money.
He's worth $3 million.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I could see that. That's a 35-year career. I mean, that dude started in the 80s, and he had
Ball and Chain, bro.
Tons of music videos on MTV in MTV's heyday. I could totally see him having that accumulated wealth over that span of time.
Also, if you've never listened to these bands, give them a listen. Some of them are worth listening to.
Let's say Mike Ness / Social Distortion.
Social Distortion, because he's got his own side project. Ball and Chain is one of my favorite songs. Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire, I can't do it. Not a big fan of that song, period.
Oh, for sure.
or that singer. This one surprises me because it's so low to me.
Yeah.
Number 9, Glenn Danzig of the Misfits. He's only worth $6.5 million. I don't know why that empire is not the biggest empire I've ever seen.
Lawsuits, not playing under his own band and playing the music that people are wanting to listen to him play more. I mean, when he started doing the heavy metal, then he got into industrial for a little while for a lot of albums. A lot of people weren't listening to it. You don't want to pay a premium price for a ticket to see a show that is mainly playing those songs. I mean, so I could see why, he doesn't have more money. I mean, he also has the rights to the Fiend Skull, but, that's also one of the,
What's the joke about him with cat litter?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a cat litter meme or something about him. I think he has, cats and...
Oh, I could see that guy owning, tons of cats.
I think it's in his writer that he needs cat litter. every performance or something.
Because he takes his cats on the road?
Maybe.
I can see it.
I'll find out. If I can find out, I'll talk about it. Number 8. This is actually the band that made me think about this. I was listening to this band where I was like, wow, man, you're a fucking sellout. I was listening to one of my favorite bands of all time, Rancid.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to Rancid, and I was like, man, what if Tim saw me right now? He'd be fucking disgusted.
No, man.
Not Timmy Time Bomb.
No, that guy... Okay, go ahead and say the number.
We're not going to talk about Timmy Time Bomb. We're going to talk about Lars Fredriksson, his other guitarist. He's worth $10 million.
I'm surprised that his number is that high, actually.
Well, between Rancid, Old Firm, Casuals, UK subs, and Lars Fredriksson,
his own record label?
And the Bastards. No, he was always under Hellcat, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
He's worth $10 million.
I'm sure he's had endorsements along the way for certain brands. I'm sure even Dickies or somebody has endorsed him. I mean, yeah, somebody's got to be telling these youth to buy Dickies.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just do it on your own. Number 7. This one's not surprising. Again, low for who they are in political, not political, maybe political, in just stature. Henry Rollins. He's worth $12 million. If you're not familiar with Henry Rollins,
see, I'm surprised.
He's the guy who fell into the Black Flag role and just fell into it.
I mean, he's the most recognizable from this list, I'm sure. You've seen him acting in shows and movies. He's always, trying to preach something to somebody at some point.
Yeah.
He has his own comedy / lecture tours that he does.
I'm sure he has a podcast somewhere.
Oh, and I'm sure he does. And, so I'm actually surprised he's not higher on this list. I'm very intrigued to know who's higher.
Oh, it's getting higher.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, Timmy Time Bomb himself, Tim Armstrong, $13 million. Frontman for Rancid, but also the owner of... that's why I don't know why it's not larger than... He owns Hellcat Records.
Yeah.
Why does he only have $3 million more than Lars?
It's a small independent label that, I mean, there's overhead for that.
This is the guy. This is Operation Ivy himself, dude.
Yeah, but record labels are not that lucrative anymore, and they haven't been for a while. And it's like I can see why these guys have accrued money. I mean, those two guys were in the same band. They were, that's a very...
If you've never listened to Rancid,
band,
you gotta give them a listen.
I mean, but you could say Rancid is pretty mainstream. I mean, they have a lot of hits.
I think maybe they were the first ones to... Well, they're like the part of the punk rock revival in the 90s.
The Green Day Offspring.
Yeah.
And Rancid and other various bands.
They're the most street punk of all the of those bands.
Of those mainstream bands.
Of the mainstream bands. They're the ones that try to keep it punks with a mix. This one kind of bums me out because I just hate him as a person. $15 million to Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols.
I mean, that's just a lot of royalties.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's hard to, yeah.
This one...
He's a shit person.
Yeah, he's a shit. Fuck him. Fuck the Sex Pistols. Never got into him.
I like the one album. It's just a good rock and roll album, man.
Fuck him. Number 4, who am I to say? I'm not the fucking punk rock police. They don't belong on this list to me.
Who?
Iggy Pop coming in at $15 million.
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Iggy Pop and the Stooges? Yeah, totally. I mean they're always listed as the godfathers of punk or proto-punk, like before punk was punk. Like, I mean, they had the DIY ethics. I mean, there's a great documentary about Iggy Pop. I forget the name of it. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's actually really entertaining. You learn a lot about MC5 and the Stooges and a lot of those bands in that area, and like nobody was uttering the genre to be punk rock, but like if you look at the shows, like those were punk shows.
Yeah.
Like, so I totally see it's being valid for him to be on the list.
Number 3, which is very surprising that he's not number 1, Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day, worth estimated $55 million.
That's a big jump.
It is.
And
we got to think.
How are his bandmates not somewhere on this list? I don't get that. I have to imagine that fucking, I can't even remember his name. Trey Cool and
says
Mike
he's dabbled in acting.
30 million
well, you know,
range.
I'm
You
sure
know
there's
what I mean?
some honorable mentions in here. You got to keep it like, why have all of the whole band in there? You know.
Yeah.
Number 2, very surprising to me because it's a very overrated band, in my opinion. Dexter Holland of The Offspring.
Yeah,
coming in at $65 million. How are they at $65 million? My friend's got a girlfriend.
I mean, I like some early Offspring, but that's just
whiny
like the
fucking
kid
guy. Just a fucking whiny guy with some fucking Dickies
they
shorts.
They have a great song about road rage, man.
Do they?
They do.
Okay, I'll have to try it out.
We're gonna have to use a drop from it for this episode or something.
Oh man, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
nice. We'll risk getting sued.
Yeah,
for that
sure.
one. Number 1 doesn't belong on the list to me, but I'll allow it because of the stint with the Aquabats. Travis Barker, $85 million.
Son of a bitch. I mean that guy's got a ton of
also transplants. You got to say transplants.
I mean, but that guy is drummed everywhere, and I mean he had fucking. I mean, every magazine shoot that he did. Also, his aesthetic of just the tattoos and everything made him very picturesque. Picture perfect for advertisements and impressions. The Hurley advertisements. The fucking, what was the other brand that they would always rep? Blink-182.
Famous? His brand?
Oh, he has his own fucking brand. That's right. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So that all makes sense.
Yeah. So there's that list. Do you have anything to say to that, or like, are you surprised? Have you ever thought about it?
I was surprised that you didn't throw Fat Mike somewhere in there. I thought Fat Mike owning one of the bigger record labels in the genre would have, some kind of money pool. At least to be somewhere in the middle there. I mean, I'm just surprised at that.
He's worth $6.5 million. He's at the bottom of the list.
I'm surprised.
He's probably owes a lot of money and shit that he's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Probably drug rehabs here and there and
all that shit. A lot of drug costs over the years too.
A lot of drug. I mean, he spends all his money on drugs.
Does coke, I think.
He does a lot of shit. He does prescription drugs. He's very open about it too. At least he was. But I mean, being a part of No Effect and Me First and the Dimmy Dimmies, you would think, and owning Fat Records, that he would have more money, but apparently not. He's clocking in at $6.5 million. But yeah, I was just very curious. I want to see their houses. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. And I want to see their closets, their large closets, but just full of shit.
wanna know
especially
what they collect.
Johnny Rotten's closet.
I want to know what shit they like to collect. Like, you know, like I could see Johnny Rotten. He's older. I could see him just being into like Fabergé eggs or something fucking random. You know, just like, yeah, I have this large assortment of fucking, I don't know, fucking paintings. I don't know. I mean, what the fuck does that guy do? I don't know. What do you do after a career like that and then just sitting on so much money?
I don't know what you do, dude. Especially if you've never had money.
Yeah.
You don't know how to act. You literally don't know how to act. I want you to start scrolling through your things now. We're in a segue. That's what I've been spending my time on, is wondering how much money my childhood favorite bands have. Let me know what you've been spending your time on.
Well, this is somewhat probably allegedly Super Bowl related for commercials. The Big Lebowski 2 teaser.
Who's in it?
The dude, man. The dude is in, like, there was a short teaser of him walking up in a bar, and there's like this like cover of a Bob Dylan song that's in the movie, but it's not the Bob Dylan song from the movie.
Okay.
And it sounds almost exactly the same. Like, if you weren't paying attention, you would think that it was the same song from the movie. But he's just strolling through a bar, and he orders a drink, and then he like kind of looks at the camera or something, and then it said trailer coming February 3rd or whatever, and it's just this, you know, it's obviously there's not a real movie. The Coen brothers did not make a fucking sequel to this movie, but there's going to be some dude-related commercial that's a spoof on the idea. Also, while I was there, I started like coming across other things because, again, I was high and I just started looking up other things. And, you know, the character, Jesus, I forgot the last name, the bowling guy. I'm sure you've seen the video, nobody fucks with the Jesus. Yeah. Even if you've never seen the movie, everybody knows that character.
He's also the butler from Mr. Deeds.
John Turturro.
Yeah.
He's actually a fantastic actor. If you see some of the roles that he's actually done, he's really good. Check out another Coen brother movie, Barton Fink. That guy is really magnificent in it. It's a great Coen brother movie, very underrated. John Goodman's a fantastic actor in it, and it's fucking weird. And anyways, fucking John Turturro decides, I'm going to write and direct my own movie, and it's going to be based on this character and based on a French film that starred Gerard Depardieu, or whatever the fuck his name is. You know the guy?
No.
Green Card?
No.
I'm sure you know him. He's a little heavy set now, and he's got a weird nose and always has this weird, awkward long hair. And he's the French guy in every movie, usually a chef of some type. Or, you know, he's played a chef probably like 4 separate roles that I can think of.
I don't know.
And, well, anyways, when that dude made this movie in the 70s, it was just, you know, about three people on the run, just 3 young people in a little love triangle, you know, just committing crimes and donking on the road, you know. Apparently, this John Turturro movie is going to be based on that and have his character involved in it. Huh?
Okay. Lady in the Water?
Yeah, Lady in the Water. But, yeah, so there was that. I found that interesting. So I'm just going to go through other tabs here. You let me know what you want to listen to.
I'll tell you, what I want to listen to.
15 creepy Nickelodeon conspiracy theories.
No.
ABC Primetime episode with Diane Sawyer. Full episode I watched for 42 minutes about the Bjork stalker. I don't know, man. This is a creepy videos. You can find full videos of this stalker.
Stalking's back in fashion.
Do you want to know what happened back then?
There's a show called You on Netflix that everybody's all into. It's about stalking. Stalking's all the new rage. So you just see this person turn down the street, and you're like, "There's nothing but houses on that street." I know what you're.
Okay, check this out. This guy, Ricardo Lopez, young guy.
Oh yeah.
He's in his 20s, early 20s, like 20 or 21.
I know where this is going.
He's fucking infatuated with her. And he starts writing his diaries.
Did we just find out what we're gonna do for our podcast from now on? We're just gonna do Diane Sawyer. We're gonna just break down episodes.
Break down episodes of shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dateline?
Dude, Picard, dude, it would fucking, I would tune in. Fucking this guy though, he made a video diary. There's 22 hours of footage.
And this isn't when you had an iPhone. You'd have to want to
you
make
had
a video
to
diary.
Make these videos. So basically, what happened was he kept to himself. He was from like a normal family, but he had his own job. He fucking was a bug fucking, sprayer. I don't know, what do they call him?
Abatement. I don't know.
Yeah,
something.
He did that.
Pest
He
control.
kept to himself. Pest control. He had his own little apartment. Well, his neighbor one day noticed a bunch of blood sleeping from the outside of the wall from the upstairs, and they call the police, and of course they go in and they find him dead, and they find a camera. No, they find him dead in his room, apparent suicide, and he's covered in paint and grease on his face, and he's shaved his head recently, and there's a video camera there, and there's a whole box full of videos, and there's 22 hours of video to go through, and so they're just going through these videos, and then they find out, he had been dead for a couple of days, and they find in the last hour of the videos, he's detailing this plan that he had, where he sent a hollowed out book to Bjork. He got her address from this pay for service that you could buy celebrities' addresses, and he was always sending her mail, and through the videos, he's very angry that she never answers him. And all those videos, he's most of the time naked, just in his room, just naked, and he's just he's like the first incel. He's just detailing about how women don't pay attention to him, his sexual...
What is it that intrigues us about these stories? Like they're
it's deranged. It's just something
they're deranged,
so far
and they're
removed.
Morbid.
It's so far removed from...
It's something that's
it's so
people love the macabre these days.
It is.
Always?
They love the macabre from a safe distance. Of course, if it was something
I guess
that they were
used to watch. People used to gather around for public hangings.
Oh, yeah,
people just want to see that kind of shit. They want to see what it's like to... Joseph Mengele's out here fucking cutting beating hearts out of fucking bodies and concentration camps.
The new Ted Bundy videos seem to be very popular.
Everybody... I saw is it Ted Bundy that Zac Efron's going to be?
Yeah.
There's a very popular tweet right now that is a picture of that he tweeted. Somebody retweeted it with comment that said, "I just want him to disrespect me." Thousands of likes.
And again, there's the whole true crime, group that we've talked about that fucking fetishize all these people.
Yeah.
But this guy went through the trouble of buying sulfuric acid, coming up with a trigger device for the book. He hollowed out a book, so, he sent it to her in the mail, and it takes about 5 days to get to where she was going to be. It was day 4 when they found that part of the video where he was making this plan, and that he mailed the fucking book. And so then they had to intercede and across fucking the ocean. I mean, she's from Icelandia, she's Icelandic, and she lived in London at the time. And they captured the book and exploded the package. Basically, I mean, this guy was throwing this shit on like a statue, showing how it could burn, and then you just see this guy leading down this path of this. There's compilation clips of this guy, and there's actually a guy that has gone through all the videos, and he has a YouTube channel where he is just breaking down the video as it's playing. And he's like noticing little things like, "Oh shit, I didn't notice that. Oh, he's really young." When I watched this video,
is you?
No, yeah, but no, it's just fucking crazy, man.
As much as I've heard the name my whole life, Bjork.
Yeah.
Don't know what the fuck that person sings or what they do or what it sounds like.
She sings like this. So
that kind of shit just brings. That kind of shit just is a beacon for starters.
I mean, okay, have you ever listened to Yoko Ono's stuff, like her legitimate music?
I try not to.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. A lot of weird sounds involved. Bjork did that in a listenable level. Like, that weird style that fucking Yoko Ono was doing, but Yoko Ono is trash and
Doesn't
you
it
can't
kind of
listen
just
to
suck
it.
that Yoko Ono just has to live with this thing that whenever there's a girl that none of the friends like, they just call her a Yoko?
Yeah. Breaking up the group. Fucking the ruiner of something great.
Fucking Yoko.
Something that cannot be repeated in history. Yeah, so,
That's interesting, though. I will have to watch that. Diane Sawyer is an excellent narrator.
I'll send you the link, man.
Oh, yeah,
it's a good video.
Do.
Yeah, man, I started looking up a lot of stuff about the Oscars. We're in Oscar season.
I hate
Oscars?
award shows.
Really?
Oh, dude, I hate them. There's nothing in
man.
it for me. I'm not winning an award. I don't want to be there.
I want you to go to Netflix and watch
Oh, no, hold on. I don't want to hear
the
it.
documentary because you like documentaries.
I don't want to hear about the time that fucking the Godfather, what's his name?
Francis Ford Coppola?
No, the actor of
Marlon Brando?
I don't want to hear about the time Marlon Brando didn't show up.
No,
and a Native American fucking accepts
and
it
then
for
they show
him.
the clip of John Wayne. What did you think of? I don't like Marlon. I mean, he doesn't say I don't like Marlon Brando, but he kind of avoids the question. But no, this movie is a love letter to cinema, and it has a lot of interviews from a lot of acclaimed directors and people behind the scenes, and it talks about the history of the Oscars. And a lot
what
of
about the time that all the Oscars got stolen?
And
Ellen found them at a pizza place.
Just it's about what the Oscars is, the misconceptions of the Oscars. A lot of people, every fucking time I see the Oscars, the next day on talk radio for the next fucking week, it's just old people
got snubbed?
And people that are dumb as fuck. I don't know any of these movies on there. I've never seen any of them. I don't know how they get Best Picture. Yeah. Transformers was fucking great, like I think that for anybody that has a true love for the art of film, I think that
what bugs me the most
the
about
Oscar is
people who like
I think that's
film
what the name of the documentary
these
is.
days.
What's that?
That they don't like film. They like
What do you
these
mean?
fucking Transformer movies.
Well, okay, but there is still a lot of great film being released. Like, have you even looked at the list of who's nominated?
Yeah, I didn't know any of them.
One's on Netflix available right now
Yeah.
to watch. Roma. It's
Heard of it.
1970-71 Mexico, based on the director's own experiences. He's part of the Three Amigos, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
The Inarritu. What's the guy's name? Inarritu?
I don't
You
know.
know Guillermo del Toro.
I know him.
Inarritu's the guy that did fucking Babel and 21 Grams, The Revenant.
I'm not going to remember by you telling me these things. Go ahead, though.
Well, okay, the acclaimed directors.
Gotcha.
This guy did with Gael Garcia Bernal, Y Tu Mama Tambien.
No,
And,
I don't know.
Okay.
Continue.
He's a well.
Okay, yeah, I got that. He's well known.
He's got this movie, and it's
got a
fucking
movie.
looks fucking beautiful.
There we
Is
go.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
You watch the fucking trailer,
I'll check it out.
and then just realize that there's a lot more to fucking making film. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
man,
I
that
mean,
people
I
are
know.
just
Oh,
not
dude.
fucking paying attention to.
I love actual film. Like, there's a guy. He taught me all about it. His name's Sid Harriet.
Oh, fucking Sid Harriet. Fuck Sid Harriet. Fuck Sid Harriet. That was a hardcore band name that we wanted. That was going to be called Fuck You, Sid Harriet. Like, that was going to be the listing for the band that we never had.
Sid Harriet was our film teacher and
film appreciation
teacher. Yeah. He taught me all about film noir.
Well, you dropped out of the class. You left me alone in there.
I couldn't pass, dude. I couldn't pass his test.
They were stupid fucking tests.
He would say,
I still passed.
in the 30th minute of this,
No, it would say some ridiculous
dude, hold
shit
on.
like that.
I know. I'm saying it. In the 30th minute of so-and-so film, I pointed at the screen when the doves exited the house. This was an example of what? Please write this in a short story form, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, bro, I don't remember what you fucking pointed in the 30th minute. You pointed every 10 minutes.
Dude, he would walk by and point. And his opening...
Love.
There's 3 genres of film. Action, romance, love, and then he said like a fourth one, like which wasn't 3. Like, and he's like missing all types of genres, and then he would just like he had an example of that, which it was something like, what was the color of the lampshade on the desk after so and so exits the room? And it's just like that was not like
I don't know how you
metaphor.
passed that class.
Like that wasn't even a metaphor used. Like that lampshade was like, you have to be a fucking psycho to fucking.
He tipped me after class one time. Me and a bunch of other fucking degenerates. And he's like, I don't know how you guys missed these questions. They were clear as day. And I was like, oh. And I was like, that was the first test, too.
You know what? I don't know if I did pass that class now that I think about it, because I did take film appreciation a second time.
With you. I took it with you again.
No. That was actually our second film appreciation class. We passed one at Reedley College.
Yeah.
Then we went to Fresno City, and we took that class. And then you dropped out, and I think I stayed in and took the F. And then I think years later, I repeated the class with someone who actually knew film. And he... like it was like, wow, I got a fucking A in this class. Like it was about essays and actual research about shit.
No, I took
and, it wasn't about.
I think I did too. I had to replace that class, and I took one at Fresno State, where the class actually was this film. It was the lady just integrated it with a film group. It was just a bunch of old people who got together every Friday night and watched a like a Sundance level film,
and just
that,
had
but current. It's
after,
and they'd fucking fly people out. They fly, maybe from Arrested Development.
Yeah,
she was in an art film. They flew her out, and she was there to take questions after the film. She sat there and watched it with us.
I mean, honestly,
and my dumb ass asked what Michael Cera was like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, this film was great and all, but you gotta tell me, what's your favorite Michael Cera moment?
You see, I didn't even know you actually met the actress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I just want to find that type of group. I've been thinking about things.
Oh, dude, they're in Fresno. They're there.
Those
fools are still meeting up.
I just need to chill
they
with
looked
those
at
types
me
of people,
like I was an outsider. Oh, this fucking guy's gonna come in. He's gonna be here 6 weeks and he'll drop out. He won't be here anymore. He'll pass the class.
Probably missing this class to see the new Transformers movie.
He'll pop in for attendance and he'll leave because he knows he only has to watch 2 of these films to pass the class. I used to. But hey, if you want to meet with those people, Fresno Filmworks is what they're called.
Oh, I know Fresno Filmworks.
Yeah. Go hang out with them.
I don't think I want to chill with them. I think I just need to clone. No, I don't like myself, though, so I don't think I could get along with myself. I just need somebody that's into a lot of the same things to just have one-on-one about, let's discuss this film. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, you see what they did there? And then it's just me pointing at random scenes that it doesn't make any sense to anybody else.
Okay.
Fucking Sid Harriet.
Here's the thing. I really want to get to this.
Yeah, what's that?
So it's Reddit. They asked advice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Reddit r/advice.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do this more often because I kind of want we don't have a direction of this podcast.
No.
I kind of want it to just be a Frasier actual kind of, you call in and we tell you what's wrong with you and we can help you.
That's very dangerous grounds, Chewy. Neither of us, both of us, between the two of us, we have maybe 3 psychology classes under our belt.
That's tempting to say, dude, because I fucking hate psychology. I think it's a pseudoscience.
I mean, it's referred to as a soft science.
It's
Chewy.
None of it's proven to me. I dropped out of the class every time. It's you know what you can prove? Math.
You can improve. You can talk about correlations of things. You can't really say that there's
Were you
a
molested
causation.
as a child?
I mean, again, you can correlate those traumatic events to other behaviors, but you can't say that it's something.
Did you go to junior college?
Causation of those events. You know what I mean? But there's so many other outside factors to that.
Yeah.
You know,
you're sounding like you're going to be great at this.
Look, man. No. I think it's dangerous. I don't know how to. I'm obviously off the fucking hinges myself.
He does
half the
not
time.
act.
I don't.
So I just want to ask this one though. Let's try it out.
Okay.
Without hurting anybody. Let's just try this one because this one's interesting. I just want to hear.
And it's a stranger, and we'll never actually interact.
We'll never interact with them whatsoever.
This is just a theoretical life hack.
This is an actual problem this person had, which
yeah.
I feel
but
for
our
them.
advice is theoretical.
It's
and
3 hours ago. This was 3 hours ago. We can still help them.
This is fresh.
We can still help them. Random girl just knocked on my door.
Edge, my friend.
Random girl just knocked on my door and asked if I wanted to watch a movie. I've never seen her before, and I know a few people around my complex. She was really nervous when she asked, and she just walked off when I declined. Does anybody think that this was a setup for something malicious, or did she genuinely just want to watch a movie with a stranger?
I mean, what kind of psychological help you can't delve really deep into that.
Well, you can.
Oh,
you can open that book. The fact that he really has been wondering this whole time. Is he very lonely? He's like, oh man, I could have had my wife.
Honestly,
maybe I could have sat there and we could have watched the Ted Bundy tapes.
Honestly, though, I'm skeptical if the event even happened. Not saying that he's crazy. I could see him just inventing this as an imaginative story to just tell. For some reason, people online, man, I remember back in the day, I'm talking about pre-MySpace, pre-Zanga. I remember being at the Sanger Library in 6th or 7th grade, and I saw a friend there, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was just on these chat rooms. And this was when chat rooms were fucking legit chat rooms. And he was posting and he was saying, oh, I'm just talking to these girls. And I'm like, what? You're talking to girls? And I'm looking at them, and it's people that were saying oh yeah, I'm a vampire and I'm a model and I'm a vampire model. And then when you called them, I said, no, tell that person they are not a vampire. Vampires don't exist. And someone chastising, how dare you say that they're not a vampire? You don't know them. And it's man, people on the fucking internet, man, they just come up with wild ass shit and just fucking, I think they're just reaching out to have a conversation. I think this guy, as lonely as he is, he's reaching out to random strangers. He is the girl that's wanting to watch a movie with a complete stranger. He is having a conversation with complete strangers online. He's found an online community. He doesn't, converse with people on the regular that much. And he's just coming up with anything that he can fucking have that might seem relevant, that people will interact with him and have comments and have input. And he'll even I'm assuming all of this, but I could totally see this guy just sitting at the computer.
You're making a lot of assumptions. I'm going to stop you.
But do they seem valid?
No, yeah, but it could be a lot simpler than that.
I don't think this girl, just some crackhead.
No, this girl could have a guy right next to the door. As soon as he opened it, thinking he's going to fucking Netflix and chill with this girl, he just could fucking... Katie's dad comes out of nowhere and fucking cold cocks him. They go inside, they steal all his shit.
Okay, but you see, I understand how that could seem feasible, but then I have to get into the head.
You get away from here, you gypsy. That's what I would say.
But this seems like a very gypsy plan. That's very racist. The term gypsy is racist. You want to know about the origins of the word gypsy?
No, not today.
All right. So, yeah, it's just that I've had to deal with some Romani people in the past. Chewy, this is legitimate in my life. I've had to deal with some Romani fucking people trying to scam.
Acting like gypsies?
No, well, they don't. They try to distance themselves from that as much as all of their actions and their little scams scream the word gypsy. There's those Romani people, man. I don't care about racism here. They need to find a place and stay. Stop traveling and stop funding your shit from scamming people. Fuck, man. My grandma was scared of gypsies. She used to be a migrant farm worker and in the camps. And when the gypsies would roll through, they would say, "Hide the babies." They would run from little tent to tent telling people to hide their babies because the gypsies were going to steal the babies from them. Maybe that was real. Anyways, that's a sidetrack. But in these gypsies' minds that are out there, and, you know, it's like, you know, that doesn't sound like a good working plan. And because I've dealt with some of them, they seem kind of convincing in their plans. And this one seems too far-fetched to where it's like that plan doesn't seem like it would work on anybody. Like, who would be like, all right, yeah, come on inside. Like, it doesn't seem like the buy into the con is there. So I can't see that being a reasonable thing, that there was another dude outside that was ready to just fucking hit him with a fucking lead pipe and then take his fucking Xbox. You know, I don't think that...
It's a big concern of mine. I just became a PlayStation 4 owner.
Oh, yeah.
And my biggest concern is somebody stealing it. I don't want it to be stolen. It's too small to claim for insurance. You just take the L. It's the ultimate scam, dude. All right. Here's one more for you. This one's a little bit better because it's something that I actually thought about in the last couple days myself, because it's a show that I watched, 90 Day Fiancé. You know,
you talked about 90 Day Fiancé.
Do you know how to read?
Do I know?
Can you read out loud?
Yeah, I can read.
No, I'll do it.
What?
I don't know. I don't want to put you on in a spot.
I mean, yeah, I can read, man.
I don't want to put you in a spot that you can't handle.
I have a high comprehension level. That's the only thing that I, tested high on. You know.
I like my girlfriend's twin sister. What should I do? I've been dating my girlfriend.
It's a
who is beyond attractive. This already sounds fake.
Yeah.
But it could be a real thing.
That should be like a subject matter, like just like right away.
For over a year now, that's how long it's been with her. She's an amazing girl and everything. However, she's been letting work get to her recently, and she's been really taking it out on me, which really kills the mood a lot. Whew, this is a long one. I understand that work can get to anybody and be frustrating, so I'm not just judging her. She has her good days and her bad days, and I definitely love her. But recently, her sister, who comes over on the weekends, we hang out a lot this past month. We've hung out a lot this past month. My girlfriend works on the weekends, so for part of the day, I would just hang out with her sister, and we'd be watching movies and talking together, and I really got to know her during these weekends. And she's really nice to me, inside and out. She's a really nice girl. She makes me laugh, and has an amazing personality. I really connect with her. So, unfortunately, I have caught feelings. But I have to admit that I've been able to control it. But each night she's over, and she sleeps over in the weekends, and I haven't been able to control it lately. And then he goes really into detail about all this bullshit.
So how long did he say he was dating the other sister? For like a year and a half?
Let me see.
It's like a year and a half, I think.
Oh, yeah. Let's just say that.
And this other sister,
to me,
he's probably known about her, but they've only been coming around for the past couple weekends.
Yeah, so the last month hanging out on weekends. Because the sister's out of... I don't know why the sister's working and she's there, but you'll continue.
He just wants a fuck doll, Chewy.
Yeah.
There's a difference, I think, between catching feelings and having thoughts. And, catching feelings is legitimate. Like, it's, you're engrossed in that person. Having thoughts is just you think about them a lot. It's more of a back burner thought, like, well, what if, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like you're actually invested in that person. And it doesn't sound like he's that invested with the girl that he's with. It sounds like...
They're the same person, bro.
They're not the same person. Well, in a way, they are.
They are.
But he's trying to find a less complicated version of the girl that
Joseph Mengele would say that they're the same person.
No. I'm just saying he is trying to find another version of a less complicated girl.
Yeah. Literally the same.
He's obviously attracted to both.
Yeah. I mean, they're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
The only thing is about personality.
One of them's got one bigger boob.
One of them he's been with longer.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think
she's treating him like
he's
not even there.
Or is he just any complications are a fucking hindrance to him,
Yeah.
Is he just the type that just fucking everything's a hassle?
Bro, they just watched the Jeffrey Dahmer film and they were having a great time.
All I'm just saying is that this other sister is only there on free time. She seems to have free time
on the weekends.
And with free time, it doesn't sound like she has a lot of responsibility. So honestly, his current girlfriend would be like that too if she didn't have responsibilities. It's just like, having feelings for somebody, you have to have a give and take on their shortcomings and the things that you like about them. And he obviously, anything that he doesn't like, it's just, that's almost a deal breaker to him. He sees something that seems less complicated.
It's the same person, though.
It's not the same person, Jew. It's not the same person. It's the same person, but in a different situation. It's the same person with less complication, more free time.
Sounds like an upgrade.
Is it an upgrade?
To me, it sounds like an upgrade.
Is it a partner that they can build something with? If she's just dodging responsibilities, hanging out all the time, using their fucking Netflix, eating their fucking food, using their fucking couch to sleep on? I don't know, dude.
Imagine he does with this girl, and it becomes a hindrance.
Because now he's got to carry all of her laziness.
All you do is stay home. Do you want to go get a job or something where you work on the weekends? I'm going to go hang out with your sister. She works on weekends.
She's volunteering at the soup kitchen to this weekend. I think you should do something like that. God, she's a lovely woman. I don't know, man. Yeah, but Chewy, I'm not someone to have advice for people, especially.
I think that was
days.
solid advice. I was playing devil's advocate. I was just fucking going with it. I think he had some good advice for that kid there. He's in a pickle, bro. He's got two. This guy seems like he's blowing smoke on my ass. He's got two slamming hot babes that he has to choose from. That's his hard. That's the hardest part of his life. He's like, well, I got this one, but she's really busy. And I got this other one who's all over me. Who do I choose? They're both into me.
When I was in high school, I had a friend that tried to write a script, a really bad script. And he's not the best looking guy,
Not at all.
He's not the best shaped guy either.
Shaped like an ogre.
But his character in this, I hadn't read the script when we were just filming random shit, and he had us filming in this restaurant, and he comes in and he's having this dilemma, and it was something very similar to that. It was like, Roxanne just asked me to the prom, but I already said yes to Sylvia. And it's just like, this lonely man, this lonely 15-year-old wrote this script, like the guy. He's probably the Reddit user that's talking about the girl that he lives in an apartment by himself. Yep. He knows the people in his apartment. Yeah. She just came up to, I'm going to text him right now randomly. Hey, bro, don't let that girl in your apartment. That dude's waiting around the corner with a lead pipe.
Honestly, if you send me that message,
yeah,
you'd creep the shit out of me. I was like, what's he talking about? The fuck is this guy talking about?
He's on some Morpheus level shit right now.
All right, here's one more.
Yeah.
I want to just put this one to you because I feel like you can relate to it a lot.
Okay. Oh, I don't like it, dude. It's almost like you're airing my shit out on this. If it's relatable.
User sad bitch. That's the name.
Oh.
Struggling to find a new job, and my family is now putting a lot of pressure on me. Earlier this month, I left my job at Target as a cashier because the hours were getting cut horribly. Well, sounds like you were seasonal, but I was lucky to even get 4 hours a week after Thanksgiving.
Sounds like they were phasing them out.
Yeah, you kind of just sucked as a worker, I think.
They were hoping for you to quit.
Yeah. I'm done with that one. They just sucked as a worker.
It's just a terrible. Yeah.
That's the advice right there. Look, next time you get a job, you're 19. You need to actually fucking help the customers because obviously somebody who was a manager saw that you sucked because they do keep people after the holiday season. It just wasn't going to be you.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've had some solid seasonal workers where I'm surprised that some get let go and others stay. Sometimes, I'm not going to say any names, name dropping, but I found out like one of the seasonals that stayed last year, like, it's because he kissed so much ass. Like, I didn't realize it. Like, I knew that he wasn't busting his ass on carts when he was out there, but sometimes, you know, he was a good talker, and, you know,
it's all about being a good talker.
He was a great talker, but one day
that's all it is.
He fucking
that's the key to life.
He was great at talking to any random stranger,
talk your way
any
out
random customer.
Yeah.
But at one time, in front of the manager, he sees him. He says, "Oh, your shoe's untied." And he got on his fucking knees and tied the manager's shoe.
He still has a job to this day?
Well, he did, but he left.
On his own terms.
He left on his own terms.
That's all you gotta do. You gotta start to kiss a lot of ass and talk a lot of jive.
And I like that dude. I actually really like that dude. But now I just wonder, maybe all of his interactions with me was fake as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, you know, he's, I don't know, man. He's got his own streetwear clothing brand. I don't know if you could trust.
Everybody does.
You know, I don't know.
Shout out to Frez Bro.
Frez.
I know the guy who does Frez Bro.
For sure.
This fucking idiot.
But, you know, he's always trying to network things, you know what I'm saying?
Network, yeah, I heard that.
He's always trying to sell a story.
Yeah.
He's always trying. He's great. He was funny as fuck, though. And that's
what my life is. My life is trying to sell stories.
No.
That's literally what my
For
whole
reals?
job is. It's just I'm just trying to sell a dream that's not going to happen.
Have a great fucking
Could happen.
Yeah.
There could.
Honestly, it depends on the person. You could have a great night if you're that type.
I just
of
try to see that I got to find lonely guys like our friend there who wrote that story, and I got to say, imagine you come out to every one of our games, and on the last day of the season, you just find this girl, and you guys just hit it off. And you guys get married, and you guys have, well, you know, it doesn't even sound like you want this. It doesn't even sound like you. I don't. Why am I wasting my time? There's other people I need to help, and that's how you do it.
I see.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's all you do. Just sort of fabricate some stories. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, not at this time.
Until next time. Goodbye.